Hey everyone, welcome back to Alchemy with Xerophayze. We are going to be taking a bit of a different turn here. We're going to be talking about something besides image generation, and this is going to be centered around large language models and their interfaces. So I've been playing around with one called Open WebUI, and there's actually a few of them that are recently that have come out that are all really good. This one stuck out to me in particular for a couple different reasons. Primarily, and this ties into the image generation, is it gives you the ability to tie into different image generation platforms. So you can generate images inline in your chat sessions, just like with ChatGPT-4 and the DALL-E stuff. So what you're seeing on the screen right here is not ChatGPT. If you look up here, you can see that it's not. It is Open WebUI. And its functionality is dang near like almost exactly what ChatGPT gives you. I would say this goes a little bit beyond and gives you more functionality in a lot of ways. It's just some of it's different. But what this is a system that you can run locally on your local computer. It's even set up so you could run it on a system without a GPU. It doesn't run as fast, obviously, but if you have a GPU, great. It works even better. This system allows you to organize your chats just like ChatGPT. You can set up, you can actually search for, this has a huge community and they have what are called model files. And these are files that you can grab from their community that instruct the LLM on how to do certain things or how to act a certain way. It's pretty cool. You can also have custom prompts that you can access through / commands. You also have hashtag commands, which gives you access to documents. You can actually upload documents into this and then have quick access to those documents through your command line. So it's got a lot of amazing functionality here, and I'm going to go into that. What we're going to do, I'm going to walk you through installing it. It's actually really easy. You go to their website and the instructions, let's see, right here, they have some instructions, and I'm going to point out the two things, I think it's just two things that you need to do. We're going to use Docker. This is my first time using, when I set this up, it was my first time using Docker, and we're going to just do the simple setup. I've actually got mine set up so I can access it from anywhere from my phone, so I have remote access to it. So let's dive into this. There are a few things you need to download. First thing you want to download, and this will apply to a lot of things, is you want to download Ollama. This is kind of a backend setup for being able to manage your large language models. And a lot of systems are now tying into this. So you download it, you install it, and it has a system that just runs in the background that manages and gives you access to your large language models. You can actually install it and chat with your LLM in a command prompt. It's pretty cool. So you'll want to download that, whether you're Mac, Linux, or Windows. I'm Windows, so I've downloaded that. We're not downloading anything from here yet, from the GitHub for Open WebUI. Then you're going to download and install Docker. Again, download it for your proper system. I've got Windows again, so we're going to do that. Once you have those downloaded, the first thing you want to install is the Ollama. Just run this, give it a second to install. Once you have that installed, it will open up or it'll basically have an app that runs in the background. You'll see like a little llama head in your taskbar. Okay, that's it. Yeah, that's all you have to do there. Now we're going to install the Docker desktop installer. Again, if you're on Windows, just run this. I'm going to try to learn a little bit more about Docker because it's got it's a container environment that allows you to contain virtual environments for lots of web development or lots of development for a lot of things. So we're just going to accept the defaults on that and let that run through. This install may take a little longer. Once it's done, just click close. And now we go back to the GitHub here, And the way this runs is we have a command line that we run that will, at least that they give you on here, that will engage with the Docker and actually download it. Clones the GitHub repository and runs through the install and gets everything set up for you, and so you can actually open up the web interface. So we're going to copy this, and we're going to open up a command. Let's see, a command prompt here. 1 second. We'll just do it right here, and then we're just going to paste that in there. Hit enter. Let's see. Oh, whoops. Sorry. I'm like, why didn't that not run? Yeah, you do have to run the Docker, so hold on. So you run Docker just from your start menu or whatever, accept its agreement. You don't have to sign up. I just continue without signing in. And we're just going to do other on this. Okay. Docker engine has been started. So now when we go to the control or the console, command prompt, whatever you want to call it, should be able to run this and it should install. There it goes. So let's give this a little bit of time to finish and we'll come back when it's done. Okay, it is done installing that. And what that should do, let's minimize that. It should now in your Docker console, it should show this Open WebUI virtual machine right here. Okay. To access this, you're just going to open up a web browser. I don't know if like you just click this, if it'll open up. Let's see if it does. Hey, look at that. It does. Perfect. Okay. So if you didn't see what I did there, right here it shows the ports that are open, but if you hover over it, it'll show you the actual URL that'll open up. So this is running on your local machine. This works because we're running Ollama on our local machine here as well. Okay, they have a different one, command line for if you're running Ollama on a different server, you would just replace like where that server is, kind of thing. But so anyway, it brings up you're at localhost :3000. Now, here's how this works. The first time you log in, it will create an administrator account for that. So you're not going to actually sign in here. This is a new setup, so you're going to go to sign up, put in your name, email address, and set up a password. Okay. Once you create it, you're in. It'll give you some highlights here, just some things you can do with it. Close that, and you're presented with the interface, which looks just like ChatGPT. Now, up here you can see we have no models. Okay, so what we want to do is we actually want to add some models to this. Now, there's a couple different ways you can go about doing this. You can go to their model section here. As you can see, it's already tied into Docker right here, but we can actually go look for models on the Ollama website. They have a range of models. Now, it's not as vast as Hugging Face, but it does give you access. They have the newer Llama 3, which is awesome. And they actually give you access to some of the uncensored stuff, like I think Dolphin. I think they have, yep, they have the Dolphin Llama 3 here. This is the newest one, 8 billion and 7 billion sizes. But most people are just going to be running the 8 billion. So what you're going to do, you're actually going to, I want to say, this is the, let's just go in here. And we want, I think that's the tag. So it's just Dolphin Llama 3. Oops. Yeah, it wants to grab the whole thing. So we're going to go back here. And we're going to type in Dolphin Llama 3 and hit download. Okay, and as you can see, it starts to download, and we'll download that file. It's about 4 gigs. I got a pretty fast internet connection. We'll let that download, and I'll show you how it looks after that. Actually, let's just go through some other things here. So in this interface, you can manage your models. So you'll be able to delete the models, download more, that kind of thing. So let's go under connections here. So as you can see, this is the Ollama base URL connection. So when you have an Ollama installed, you can actually put this into a browser, and it will show you if it's running or not. Let's see. Oops, sorry. Sorry, if we do localhost, I think, with port 11434, and Ollama is running. Okay. So that's just kind of to confirm that it's running. Now up here we have OpenAI API. Now what I found out is you're not restricted to just OpenAI's API. This is where it gets fun. I actually have this tied into Grok. So for those of you not quite familiar with Grok, Grok is a, let's show you real quick. So Grok is like, it's a LPU inference engine. They've got hardware that is designed specifically for running LLMs. And because it's custom designed for this, it's a lot more efficient and it's very fast. As an example here, write a 1,000 word essay on the fall of Rome. And they give you access to the newer models, so the Llama 3 7 billion, Llama 3 8 billion. We're going to do the 7 billion one. And just watch, I'm going to hit play here or send. I'm not going to speed anything up. That's how fast it is. So and it gives you the rating, 302 tokens per second. I think ChatGPT Turbo, ChatGPT 4, even 3.5 Turbo, I think tops out around 100. Now, depending on the model you're selecting, this gets even faster. I want to say, let's try that. How Italy is the best. That one was 909 tokens per second. So they're very fast, very cool LLM. Or not, I mean, the LLM is awesome, but what they're doing here, this company is blowing up. I mean, it's ridiculous. It runs these LLMs way faster than on NVIDIA GPUs. But unfortunately, that's all we got to work with. So we're going to continue working with that for right now. Now, here's the thing. This is OpenAI's general URL for their API access, and you would need one of their API keys. And you'll be able to actually do multiples here. So what we're going to do is we're going to actually tie into Grok with their API interface. Let's close this out. See if I can find it here. Okay. So if you sign up for an account, it's free. Right now, their API access is free too. So all you're going to do is create an API key, give it a description. We're going to say Open WebUI, submit. There's a key. This key will be deleted later, so I'm not going to worry about blurring it out. Come over to your interface. We're going to paste that key in here. Okay. Now we have to change this base URL from what OpenAI's is to what Grok's is. And fortunately, I already have this set up on a different system, so we're going to come over here. We're going to grab that from here. It's https://api.grok.com/openai/v1. So they're just replacing the base URL. Their API interface and everything else is, from what I understand, almost exactly like OpenAI's. So we're going to copy that and go back over here. We're going to paste that in here. And you can put open AIs in here if you want, so you have access to both. And it'll give you access to, you can actually do multiples. You can do OpenAI, Groks, you can do Gemini, you can do any LLM, online LLM that has an API interface, you can put it in here, okay? We'll save that. So let's go to see, I think we got our model downloaded. And yeah, so it's right there. So we can actually back out of the settings here. We'll come back here and describe some more things. So now what that should do is put the, we got a couple of things. So we got the model we downloaded, the Dolphin Llama 3 latest. And then we have models that are available on Grok because it's got that API access. So now we have access to this here locally. We don't have to go to their website. We have a local internal server that we can work on with this. So let's write a detailed sales copy for a, I don't know, a widget that takes over the world for us. And as you can see, it's ridiculously fast. And the Llama 3 model, I'm sorry, is just good. Apparently it costs $1 billion for this widget. That's awesome. So, and then you can use the local models as well. So if you use the local models, it takes a second to spin it up, and but it's really not too bad. So it loads it into memory. Maybe it depends on how fast your computer is. But once you get it in, it's fast. It's easily just as fast or faster than GPT still. I don't think it's, you know, this is the Llama 3 8 billion model. Not quite as good as the 7 billion, but it does a pretty good job. Okay, let's dive into a couple more settings here. This is really why I love this one. So as you know, I love Stable Diffusion, and using the automatic 1111 interface is important to me. And so this Open WebUI actually gives you the ability to tie into the automatic 1111 base interface. Now, in your startup, you got to make sure you have the -- API for your automatic 1111 interface for your startup file. And I think they show you that right here. So they says include API flag. So just make sure you have that in there. And then you're just going to come in here and put the URL in for your instance. So mine has a slightly different URL, just the port's a little different. And then we're going to come up here, and it gives you the ability to select your model once you verify that it's in. And by default, or well, in my interface, I have Reality's Edge, XL, Lightning, Turbo selected, which is great. This is awesome. You're going to love this. So we're going to change this to 1024 by 1024. And steps, we're going to just put 6 and save that. Image generation experimentation is on. Make sure the image generation experimental is on, and hit save. And then we go over here. Let's go back to that prompt. Okay, so we had it write a sales copy for a widget that takes over the world, right? Okay, so we're just going to do that. And it gives you this image option right here, this image button. We're just going to click that. And because we're using a Lightning model, it actually is pretty quick on the back end. And it'll pop that image up here at the top once it gets going on that and gets it rendered. I think I got it tied in right. Let's see. Oh, you know what? I did forget that the image generation, if you're running the LLM on the same system that you're running automatic 1111, it can get slow. So just to show you what I mean, I'm running the LLM on a different computer. So let's come over here. Come over here. We're going to hit the image generation here. Yeah, see, it started, but it's going to take forever. So we're going to stop that, relaunch my. Doesn't take too long to load. Stability Matrix is awesome. They do a pretty good job of organizing it and managing the image generation packages. There we go. Over here, refresh it, make sure we get the login. Okay, and then we'll come back over here and I'll show you in this interface here. Let's see what it does. Should run quite a bit quicker once you do the initial image and it gets everything loaded into memory. It's got to load that model up first and get that all organized. But again, because I'm running the Docker and the LLM interface on a different computer, and then I'm running Automatic 1111 on this system because this is my beast system. I think I've got a RTX 3080 Ti card in it. Not bad. I would like to upgrade eventually to 4090 Ti, but let's see if this kicks in and goes here. Yep, there it goes. Okay, so now that we got that set up, so if we click this, it should have, now that it's finally loaded the model and everything, once you click that and come up here, it loads really fast. Okay. Now the other thing that you can tie this into API-wise is, and I like this, being able to tie it into an audio, basically a text-to-speech and speech-to-text engine. Now, if you have it installed on Windows, by default it's going to use the Web API, which utilizes the Windows interface. And it doesn't sound all that great. You can also tie it into OpenAI's API. And just to show you what this looks like here, let's come down here. I don't know if you'll be able to hear this or not. So on this one, I believe I'm using OpenAI's audio text-to-speech.
Events in human history, marking the end of a centuries-long period of imperial dominance and the beginning of a new.
And it'll just read off for you.
Politics. The Roman Empire, which had.
So we'll shut that off. So because I have this set up to work remotely as well on my phone, it utilizes the TTS or text-to-speech engine on the phone, so it's using Google's voice because I use an Android. Pretty awesome the way that works. Now you can actually continue your generation. Like let's say it gets down and maybe you don't think it's quite done. You can hit play here and it should continue. Yeah, there it goes. It just generate a whole ton more stuff. Let's see. Oh, it just says, let me know if you'd like me to revise or expand upon these. So if it didn't finish a particular render, you can hit that and it'll continue. Or you can just have it regenerate the whole thing if you didn't like what it was doing. Something I'm doing is slowing it down. But you get the idea. So let's save that. Oh, we don't want that right now. We're just going to use that. So if I use the audio that's built into Windows, let's see if it'll do it. Oops, no, we want audio.
Introducing the widget that takes
very robotic.
Trademark, the must-have innovation.
Definitely don't like that. It grates the ears. So to set this up so you can access it remotely, it basically involves just setting up some port forwarding on your router. Now, I would also suggest using a dynamic IP service. I use one called no-ip.com. Works really well. You just have to go in, I think, every 30 days. If you're using the free version, you have to go in every 30 days to verify the domain, or you may lose the domain, the random domain they assign you. So if this is something that interests you and you want to be able to run your own thing, so let's go into the prompts and model files. So like we can actually go out and let's go to discover a model file. This takes you to the Open WebUI.com site where you get to see the model files. I think you can even dive into the prompt section. Might be a different area, but so these are just they're. It's hard to describe these. It's kind of like OpenAI's GPTs or the custom GPTs. I think I haven't messed around with this a whole lot. You should dive into it. I'm sure it's got some great stuff. The prompts are nice. Being able to add a custom prompt that you can hit with a slash command and select it really quick is going to make that incredibly useful. So you're not having to retype whole prompts, and you have maybe a specific prompt to help you in a specific area. Would be absolutely awesome. And then the documents. This is where I'm going to be introducing this to some of my clients for my IT business. A lot of companies are refusing to use services like ChatGPT because they don't want their employees uploading proprietary data. This gives them the ability to utilize this locally. So they can restrict access to only local LLMs, and then they can add in proprietary documentation here that their employees or whoever's using the account, or at least under each user account. I think it probably organizes this by user. Because right now I'm logged in under the admin login. If somebody else signs up, the admin has to approve it. So as an example here, let's sign out. Let's go sign up. We're going to go John Doe. And then I don't think the email necessarily matters at this point. This@that.com. And let's do that. Okay. So what it's doing here is it's showing you account activation pending. It doesn't give you access to anything until the administrator has approved it. So if I sign out and we go back to this one, oops. Now we come down here, we go to admin panel, and as you can see, we have John Doe here waiting to be approved. Okay. So now that we've approved it, he's a user and he can sign in and start using this. And just as an experiment here, we're going to try adding a document. Hold on. So when you click the plus, it gives you the option to select documents where you can browse for and select a document. You can select multiple documents. You can even add a tag for that document. Okay. You save it, and it puts it in here. And this gives you the ability to choose like what you want the tag to be. I selected a export file from my prompt generator that has some prompts in it. We'll just say prompts. Okay. Save that. Now when I go back to chat, if I go here, it gives me access to that, and I can add that document. And then I can start talking to it about it. Makes it very easy to work with documents. So there's going to be a lot to this. There's still the basic functionality that ChatGPT has, being able to manage, archive, or whatever your chat sessions. You can archive them. There is a playground section which gives you the ability to select a model, and just like in some of these other areas that have playgrounds, like this right here, where you can kind of do this user says this, then there's a response kind of thing. Gives you the access to do that too. I hope this was helpful. This is so nice. I love messing with this and having such an easy interface to get into and work with, instead of having to work in ChatGPT. I still use ChatGPT for some stuff, but I am now gradually moving away from it because this is so much nicer, and I can customize it the way I want, tie it into whatever models I want, and gives me a lot more control over what I'm doing with these large language models. Hope you had fun with this. And I hope you don't mind the slight change from the normally talking about automatic 1111 and stable diffusion. But being able to generate images inside something like this is pretty cool too. And hope to see you next time. Subscribe, like, and we'll talk to you later.